New tonight, Governor Katie Hobbs celebrated the passage of the new state budget with a ceremonial bill signing surrounded by dozens of people benefiting from the new spending plan.
12 News journalist Brahm Resnik highlights 3 items in the new budget, plus a new law that should make a difference for Arizonans. Brahm?
Yeah, Mark, there's so much to choose from in a $17.6 billion budget after a 6-month legislative session. We're focusing on water, housing, public safety, and vital services for Arizonans.
We start with the so-called Ag to Urban bill. Governor Katie Hobbs signed the landmark bipartisan legislation that benefits farmers and home builders in central Arizona. Developers could convert water-intensive farmland into new housing. The bill was a response to a moratorium on new development. Arizona Department of Public Safety troopers and support staff will get a 5% bump in pay in the next couple of weeks. DPS is competing with local law enforcement agencies to retain troopers and lure new recruits. Colonel Jeff Glover, the DPS director, says recruitment has been strong, but there's more catching up to do on pay.
We're still a little bit behind, so we're hopeful that this is the first step of many to be able to increase our pay to make sure that we're competitive.
The new budget sets aside $24 million for border safety. Several Democrats oppose the funding, claiming it would be used for immigration enforcement. Yavapai County Sheriff David Rhodes says the state has entered a new era at the border, with illegal crossings down to near zero. Law enforcement's focus, he says, is on drug and human trafficking.
Now you're seeing we're in an era of deterrence through law enforcement, and you're seeing a much more manageable border. You're seeing manageable immigration.
Protecting DDD funding was one of the most meaningful things I've done in my public service career.
60,000 Arizonans with developmental disabilities waged a successful campaign last spring to restore state funding for services through the end of June. The new state budget pays for those services for the next year. 13-year-old Grace Haley of Chandler was credited with winning over lawmakers.
If we push and we stand up for ourselves and we advocate, we can get more done than we thought we could.
And late today, Governor Hobbs signed into law a bill banning the governments of Russia, Iran, North Korea, and China from holding ownership stakes in Arizona property. On the other side, Hobbs vetoed another piece of legislation that would have banned the use of photo radar to enforce traffic laws. New laws take effect 90 days after the end of the legislative session, so sometime around September 25th. Brahm Resnik, 12 News.
Brahm, thanks.